Hey everybody, Phil Kerner here, the Tool and Die Guy, and we're going to do a little mailbag today. And I got this email from Chuck. He's got a shaft keyway question. And he goes on to say, I might as well get this out sooner than later. I'm a mechanical engineer. That's good, Chuck. We don't have a problem with mechanical engineers. I work at a company that manufactures parts for the automotive aftermarket. Recently designed a gearbox, incorporated a standard run-of-the-mill keyway on a 1-inch output shaft. Did my best to specify the keyway tolerancing per NEMA shaft standards on the web, but after the shaft keyway was complete from the milling process, I decided to give the part a once-over before the heat treat operation. From looking down the center line of the shaft, it appeared the keyway position was off the center line. I asked the machinist if he checked the position. The answer was no, I couldn't figure out how. We then proceeded to try all manners of measuring with varied results. My question to you is there a standard practice for manually measuring the position of a keyway or on a shaft? Well, I'll show you a few ways I do it here. At least one way, it's depending on how long this shaft is, but I'll show you a really quick and easy way. And he finishes up with, thank you for the time you put on your website. I certainly enjoy and appreciate the educational videos that you post. It has definitely helps me to produce better designs, drawings with the emphasis on design for manufacturability. Well, thank you, Chuck. I appreciate it. So here we go. In my basement lab today, I did this little video on how to check the location of a keyway on a shaft. Enjoy. Okay, in this short video, what I'm going to show you how to do today is how to check the center line of a keyway that's been machined into a shaft. Okay, so here we have a shaft. This is about 5/8 diameter stainless steel. Keyway's been milled into it. How do we know if it's on the center? Well, there's a lot of different ways we could do this. And first inclination is going to be for you to want to put this in a V block somehow and turn this thing and try and indicate the keyway. That's very hard to do because how do you know your keyway is sitting in there straight? The next inclination you may have, because I get these inclinations all the time, this is one way you could do it. Ring up some gauge blocks that fit in there nice and snug. We never pound gauge blocks in, okay? You can make sure they're just nice and snug. And then we could probably indicate that straight. Probably have a clamp here on the shaft and gently rock this until it's straight, then check it, and then you'd have to turn it around the other way, right? And indicate it in straight again, and indicate it, and then check it with the height. Well, total pain, right? So this is a small enough shaft, so what I'm going to do is give you a quick tip. And I actually just came up with this the other day when I was thinking about this question. Let's bring in a tool and die maker's grinding vise here. What I'm going to do is simply make sure my blocks are in there nice and tight. I'm going to put it in the jaw and I'm going to snug it. Okay, so now it's sitting, it's being held. Let's tip this up so you can see. The jaws of the vise are grabbing the gauge blocks that are inserted in the keyway. And then all I have to do is bring up my dial indicator and run it over the high spot of the center of the shaft. And set a 0. Okay, 0. All I simply have to do from that point is loosen this, the vise, flip the shaft around, gently tighten it up again, and check this side. Just under 1/1000. So we would divide that by 2. We were actually a 1/2,000 off center. Okay? Because if I moved it back a 1/2,000, that would center it right up. So that's it. A very simple, effective way to check a small shaft. Now, a few things I want to point out. Your email did say you could tell that the center line of the keyway that was machined, you could tell it was off even by just looking at it by eye. Okay? Well, that's a problem. I mean, if that's that far off, we really need to kind of see how we're machining that, because if it's that far off that you can see it by eye, it wasn't picked up correctly, okay? Second question you might have for me, well, that's nice for a little shaft you can hold in your hand that's 6 inches long. What about, a bigger shaft? Well, a couple different ways you could do that. You could grab a bigger shaft in a Bridgeport vise, like this, Still using the gauge block mentality here. I mean, a lot of different ways you can do it. With inspection, you don't have to hold things as tight as you do with machining, all right? So you could have two Bridgeport vices sitting side by side for a longer shaft, put two sets of gauge blocks in, grab it down, then you would just take your indicator and touch both sides, and you'd know if it was centered, okay? What you'd have to do, of course, would be to indicate this edge of your vise, move over half your gauge blocks, then put this in, and it should read when you swing your indicator. Let's just do it, even though I don't really have it set up on a mill right now. You could bring your indicator down, swing it, lift it up, turn it, touch the other side, and you should, we would do it this way, then this way. Let me get my hands out of the way there so you can see it a little better. Swing it, lift it up, turn it around 180 degrees, and swing it. It should be on center. So the key is you've got to indicate and get somehow off of this keyway slot. You've got to get these gauge blocks in there. That's the easiest way to do it. But for small work, you know, there you go. That's the simplest way I think I could come up with to do it. And everybody should have a grinding vise, everybody should have a surface plate, and everybody should have a set of gauge blocks. You're done. So I hope that helped you, and we'll see you on the next video.